You're listening to a live performance that Whitney Houston gave in her, legendary life and career. Hard to believe that we don't have before now a live recordings album from her. Well, what do you think about this sound? Well, they must have had a hard time choosing which ones to include on this brand new album, but let's ask how they did that. We have Clive Davis, the man who discovered her talent, helped push her to stardom, and we have also her sister-in-law, Patricia Houston, who is also the president of the Whitney Houston estate. Good morning to you both. I know it's early. Thank you for being with us.
Our pleasure.
And how in the world did you go through all these performances to decide how many would be on the album and which one?
Well, the tapes came in through the courtesy of Pat. We got some wonderful tapes, never seen before on television, but we were looking for the definitive versions of some of Whitney's signature songs, but also songs that she never did record. So there's an incredible version of her doing "And I Loves You, Porgy" from Porgy at Best, leading to "And I Tell You I'm Not Going" from Dreamgirls, way before the movie. We're thrilled because the album's out only a day and we're getting spectacular 5-star reviews, and it clearly is showing. This DVD, if you see from 1983, 2 weeks after I signed her, to 2009, the Oprah show, you will see the greatest singer of her generation without question.
You know, Patricia, it's been, gosh, it feels like in a way it only happened yesterday, and yet it feels like a long time still. And it's been 3 years since her passing. And I wondered how you and how other family members are doing.
You know what, we're all doing very, very well. You know, it took some time because, you know, grieving has no timeables. But we're all doing very, very well. Very happy to see that my mother-in-law is still doing her thing, performing. She just went to the Cayman Islands to perform, and of course she just did a recording with Aretha on her Divas Classic album.
So we're talking about Whitney's mom, Sissy?
Whitney's mother, Sissy. She's doing very well. And of course, Bobby Christina is becoming a workoutaholic. She loves going to the gym. You know, everybody's just taking it one day at a time, and I'm very proud of the fact that we're just continuing to live our lives.
You know, on this, there are the 16 tracks on the album, and Clive, you talked a little bit about it, but were there certain aspects or were there certain qualities of each song that you were looking for to make sure that you had a variety?
Well, they really speak for themselves. It's done chronologic, so 2 weeks after I signed Whitney in 1983, I brought her on the Merv Griffin national TV show, and you see her as a 19-year-old, just an astonishing young talent. And then, as soon as the first album came out, she went on the Johnny Carson show, and she sang "You Give Good Love." And so gradually, through this live CD, you see the magnitude of Whitney. So much in later life came from tabloids and obscured, you know, what we all knew, that this young woman, and then later vital young woman, not only broke every record in the record book, but as a live performer, she reached places really no other artist, and I know this is using superlatives, but it lives up to it. And thankfully, all the critics say you've never seen or heard Whitney like this. She is the best and ranks up there with Aretha and Barbra Streisand.
You know what makes me wonder?
As the best of all time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But Patricia or Clive, is there more unreleased material that we don't know of yet? Do we have more albums in the works here because maybe there's so much of a catalog?
Well, there's certainly a number of live cuts that we had a choice of using. But when Pat gave to me a concert from South Africa where Whitney is singing in front of 105,000 people, and that became the definitive version of "I Will Always Love You." When you see her in a stunning turban with movie star incredible beauty, captivating and just having a hypnotic effect on 105,000 people all the way on the other side of the globe, singing "I Will Always Love You." and you see her curtain call. I do it at a dinner party. I have a dinner for 5 or 25 people, and you just run this tape. And if you have the DVD, which is part of the deluxe album, you see it. 26 years, and it is the most riveting concert footage I think I've ever seen.
So, Patricia, do we have more material other than the live stuff? Do we have songs that were recorded that will be released later?
You know what? There's plenty of performances that Whitney has done that the fans absolutely love that are not on the album. This album is probably the events album. A lot of the performances were event performances that were first time for Whitney, and which were amazing. But she has a couple of gospel songs that are in the vault. That are
recorded, okay.
Yeah, that are in the vault, and hopefully, Whitney loved gospel so much that hopefully, we will release a gospel album at some point, because when she did do The Preacher's Wife, that particular soundtrack was actually the #1 selling gospel soundtrack album ever.
I'm so grateful that you two both joined us, and I can hear her. We are playing right now the nation's anthem and that wonderful performance. And so post Veterans Day, I think we'll go to the break on that. And thank you so much for joining us and for sharing these wonderful live performances of Whitney Houston.